Family peace. This your brother Red Dad, Blue Dad, aka Financial Freedom Fighter, aka Time Clock Smash. And guess what, family? I'm back at it again, and I'm not here to waste your time. Today, this video here is definitely for people who got eyes to see and ears to listen. This is where it all boils down to why we are into this space, family. Okay? This is what we gotta understand. If you go down the rabbit hole, you're gonna understand what's happening, family. Okay, you gotta have eyes to see and ears to listen. Here's proof in plain sight. You just have to listen to the leaders that's in this space, family. I'm here to drop some receipts. Here's Brian Brooks, family, and I'm telling you, okay, cryptocurrency is when Republicans is going to take the office. Here's proof. Stablecoins is key, and we're gonna learn something about the bipartisan stablecoin regulation bill. Let's get it, family. I talk about this guy over and over again, Brian P. Brooks. I talked about him since the first day I even got into crypto. I realized who he was. I realized the player he is in the game. This fella here is old enough to talk the language to the people that's from the 60s that don't want to change anything, that want to continue for us to be sheep and go down this control government where they control everything. But he's young enough to understand technology. So when you talking about this technology started 30, 40 years ago, this is one of the guys, one of the smart guys who started it. You got to understand this. You got to have eyes to see and ears to listen. This would be our leader of finance, probably our presidents in the next coming years. Who knows? Because he knows the business, family. He was born into this, okay? He served as an acting controller of currency, family, okay? When I got into the game, that was his job. That was his position. And then he went to be a regulator on Coinbase. And now he with Binance US. This man is all over the place. He's a king ding-a-ling in this game. So if he say something, your boy Red Dad, Blue Dad is listening, because I got eyes to see and ears to listen. And I'm putting my money in the right place at the right time, family. So let's get into the receipts of what he's talking about. Listen closely, family. Listen closely.
What is their main gripe? Is it still consumer protection, or is that?
I don't think it was ever consumer protection, Kate. What I really think it's about who controls the financial system. And the crypto movement is all about a user-controlled financial system, and that just isn't what the older generation of Democratic leaders believe in. They believe in a more government-focused system that can be more easily surveilled, more easily controlled, that can direct people, toward the things that, the leadership believes is good for them. Whereas the younger generation is much more about using technology to unlock value for all Americans. But that's just not what the leaders from the 60s seem to believe.
Is there a clear priority in Washington when it comes to what really needs to be focused on, whether it's talking about how to define a security versus a token or a commodity, or is it stablecoins? You get a sense that there is a theme out there that is getting the most momentum at this point.
I think the one thing that seems to have a lot of momentum around it has to do with making sure that stable coins don't create the risk of future bank runs. It seems like Democrats and Republicans both agree on that, and that's why I say if the Republicans take the House, I think the McHenry-Waters stablecoin bill has a lot of chance of moving forward because there's that shared belief system. On things like securities law and comprehensive crypto regulation, who owns it, SEC or CFTC, that's so political, I just don't see that happening.
Is there a bit of a turf war going on right now between the agencies?
No, I mean, for a change, that's always been the case. I think when I was in office, there was a rare moment where you had the Fed, the FDIC, and the OCC all on the same team, really trying to work together. But you don't usually see that even inside of one administration. And getting the nod to be the crypto regulator is a big deal. So even two Democratic agency heads aren't going to want to give that up easily. So for sure, there's a lot of that.
We've talked a lot this year about what's happened with Three Arrows, Voyager, Celsius. Any takeaway for DC and lessons learned that will affect regulation going forward? And is there a sense that there were mistakes made on the side of regulators and not preventing some of those massive losses?
Yeah, I think the answer is absolutely yes. And, I guess my first thought is, wouldn't it be better if these activities were happening inside of the regulatory perimeter? So, wouldn't it have been better if Three Arrows was regulated as an investment company? Wouldn't it have been better if Terra Luna was subject to banking regulations, right? But for whatever reason, this administration has kept those things outside, which means there's absolutely no visibility into what's going on. A bank would never have had the Terra Luna problem. It would have been seen way earlier. We didn't have that, so that's a problem. And I think the lesson of all of this is better for this to happen with supervision than without. That would be my main message.
So within the existing or new regulatory structure, but within the banking system versus how it works right now?
Absolutely. It's not always banks. Some of these should have been broker-dealers. Some of the SEC oversight. Some of them should have been banks. Like Terra Luna was engaging in money transmission and payments. They were paying interest. That should have been there. But there is a platform for all of this to happen. Keeping crypto out of the system is not a strategy.
Yeah, family, in that video, he mentioned a McHenry-Water stablecoin act or bill or law, family. Okay, Your boy Red Dad Blue Dad is not into politics, but I got the Red Dad Blue Dad because life is politics. They're going to give you two sides, family. It's up to you to choose. Left wing, right wing is part of the same damn bird. It has the same head. They both is controlled, okay? They both are controlled by families. So you got to have eyes to see and ears to listen. It's all a game. So they telling you, you know, the Republican Party, whoever is president for the Republicans, not this guy that's in here now. You know what I'm saying? Not the guy that's in here now, but the Republican Party is going to be the savior for the financial system, family. So you got to have eyes to see and ears to listen. Brian Brooks, I already gave you the lifestyle of this guy. He mentioned McHenry, which is Senator Patrick McHenry, and Waters. I told you, Brian Brooks is old enough to talk the game to the older folks that started this system, but young enough to talk to us. That's the millenniums, or that's the innovators. Okay, so you got to have eyes to see and ears to listen. So he mentioned that. So it's just where the chairman Maxine Waters and Senator McHenry is talking about a bill with stablecoins called a bipartisan stablecoin regulation bill. Okay, so to make a long story short, I'm gonna leave you guys with a video so you can dot your I's and cross your own T's, family. Let's get it.
Madam Chair, I would, and I thank you for your public statements, and I want to thank you for the good work of your team, and your team and my team, and you and I have put a significant amount of effort into achieving a bipartisan outcome. And this is something I've said consistently on stablecoins. That's where we should be able to legislate in a bipartisan way, and you've said similarly. But I think the important thing to say is that we're close. We're not there yet, but we're close. There have been meaningful and quite productive conversations between us and our staffs. And these conversations will continue through the summer. And I think you and I share the goal of getting this done in September, if we can. And the policy has to be right. And I know that's difficult. And bipartisanship is a difficult undertaking. But most importantly, I think I want to convey that we want to make sure that this bill, that this law, is technically proficient and a workable law. We don't want a dead letter as soon as we pass this thing. We want a workable law. And furthermore, we are interested in building off the expertise and data that we have from existing states and their existing regimes. Most significantly, the state of New York has the most robust stablecoin regime, and I think we want to make sure that we're adhering to those best practices and the data that's available there. But as I said, this needs to be. This is a technical piece of legislation. We need to make sure that it is technically proficient and workable. And I'm really grateful for your leadership in this undertaking, and very grateful that we can coordinate from my side of the aisle, your side of the aisle, along with the administration, and get a workable product. So thank you, Madam Chair, and I yield back.
And that's it, family. There's a little bit of proof. I just want to end on this statement here, family, on what I'm saying. In this situation, the truth is in plain sight. Because these people do it right in plain sight because they think that we don't think. So they're thinking for us. They're making decisions for us, family. You know, they know we're sheeping around. And they're making life decisions, and they record themselves, and they read prompts about things they're doing in our lives that affect us. It don't affect them. They're already rich and wealthy. They're just reading the prompt. They already got privilege. Okay? It's up for us to have eyes to see and understand. Don't let these people just read for us, but take advantage of the things that they're trying to put in place for us, so what we could think for ourselves and take advantage of that as well, family. Okay? The stuff they're talking about, it's not for people who got eyes to see and ears to listen, for the people who don't, the people who's sheeping around. Okay? So I'm here to bring the crypto facts and have truths. It's up to you to decide what's true to you. You know? So I want to thank you guys for smashing the like button, sharing my content out, purchasing the merch that's in the descriptions, and purchasing the Red Dad Blue Dad book 101. Until the next time, I'm out. Peace.